kind of expected this. They sacrificed a lot of depth to get Kevin Durant. And you could argue they didn't have a ton anyway. No Chris Paul, so everything was different for them. Obviously, they lose Ayton for the last game in this series. This was a fine season for them. It's disappointing because they lost, but I'm not saying that the Kevin Durant trade was only for next year, but it certainly was more for next year, where they have a chance this summer to add some pieces, some complementary pieces around those two guys.
I think it became more for next year when he sprained his ankle.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think
Such a freak thing too.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that a lot of people, and I think we were pretty good about, well, maybe you and I, Dave.
I was not. I had my head down very quietly while you were saying that.
Yeah. When the trade was made, we're like, okay, their top end is pretty high, but there's still some issues here. And the issues they ran into were foreseeable. They were forced to put some bad players on the court. And when you're top heavy like that, and one or two of your top guys get injured, you're kind of fucked. And like, it didn't have to work out this way, but it working out this way is not surprising. So I think that being a little more circumspect when the trade was made would have been appropriate. But that said, this isn't like dispositive of being a bad trade. It's Kevin Durant.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer. It's what do we need to give you? Like, it's not like, I know people are like, well, could you have held on to this guy? No, because it's Kevin Durant. You don't get to bargain.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, they're not in this. They probably aren't in this position where they pushed the Nuggets a little bit. They had some amazing, performances from Booker and some okay performances from Kevin Durant. He was fine. Like, he wasn't great, but he was totally fine. And that just doesn't happen if they don't make that trade. That team, they probably get out of the first round, but I don't think that they don't scare the Nuggets without Kevin Durant. And one of my big takeaway for the Nuggets from this, and I think that's everyone's takeaway, Devin Booker has been a good player for a really long time. Devin Booker was maybe the best player in the playoffs outside of Jimmy Butler and Jokic. And
those are certainly the three.
And I think that's massive for next year for the Suns.
I think there's no question. I mean, this is probably this is the way too early. And if anybody brings this up again, I will slap them sort of situation. But this is like the, hey man, I'm going for the MVP next year.
Yes.
Playoffs. And I think that's kind of the scenario in that's what they're going to try to go for. Booker's going to try to go for. And I don't see a reason why he couldn't. I mean, he was the best player in the playoffs until games 5 and 6, when the Nuggets just said, oh yeah, they only have two guys.
Right.
That's when the Nuggets decided we don't need to guard the other guys. They'll flame out. And my point exactly, Cameron Payne had 31 points in the elimination game. I think that's kind of just the theory behind that stuff.